Hello and welcome back to Abidi's Kitchen. Today we'll be preparing some salt fish. For this recipe you'll need salt fish. I'm using here a pound of Guyana Bangamere saltfish with the bone in, and snapper is a good choice as well, or any brand of saltfish. I know in the States we call this bacalao, but I prefer to use the Banga saltfish because I find that it's a bit more flavorful and is thoroughly dried. We will also need some seasonings. So I have here a medium tomato. You can use a large if you like. Quarter of a large onion. Pepper. I'm using jalapeno. Tomato paste. Shallot. And optional is about a teaspoon of dried thyme. So let's get into the preparations. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is preparing or cleaning the saltfish. Now if you look closely, you can see this is covered in salt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a quick rinse on the cold water to get rid of all those extra salt crystals before I wash it in the hot boiling water. So here that's been rinsed off. Now I have here a pot of boiling hot water. And I'm going to put another pot on. You're going to need to alternate cleaning this between hot and cold water for up to 4 times. Now into that I'm also going to just add about a teaspoon of vinegar, and I'm going to try to press it down. You want to submerge it into the boiling water. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit here in this boiling water for about 10 minutes, and then I'll throw away that water and add a second set of boiling water. Now while the saltfish is going, I'm going to clean and cut up all of my seasonings here to fry up or stew up the saltfish. So our seasonings and aromatics have been nicely diced and cut up here. I'm going to put this aside. We don't need that as yet. And get back to the saltfish. Now this has been here soaking, and I'm going to drain off this salt water and replace it again with some more boiling hot water. And now our second set of boiling water. And again, you want to have it completely submerged. And this boiling hot water is going to help soften the saltfish. And there you can see it starting to come apart now. And it's going to make it easy to remove the fins and the bones and everything. So I throw away the third set of boiling water, rinse it with cold. And I've tasted the water and also a piece of saltfish. That's the only way for you to find out if it's pleasing to your palate. And now I'm going to clean it. It's going to have a lot of bones and the excess skin, anything you don't want. There, see that? Nice and easy. And this is all just garbage. Now I'm just going to work on removing the large pieces of bones and fins, and then I'll go through it afterwards again for the finer ones. So I have my saltfish pieces here now that's been cleaned and deboned, and we're ready to put this together. Here on medium heat a pan or a skillet, and I'm using a non-stick because this is going to help in stewing up or frying up the saltfish nicely so it won't stick. So I recommend a non-stick pan, but any pan that you have is good. I'm going to add about 3 to 4 tablespoons of oil, and I want that to come up to heat. Now into my hot oil, onions, pepper, my dried thyme, and you can use fresh, and tomato. I'm going to leave the shallot for the last. In there about a tablespoon or so of tomato paste, and this is going to add some nice rich color to the salted fish. I'm going to give everything a nice toss or stir here, and this is looking colorful and it's smelling really great. Now I'm going to let these go like this for about 5 minutes. Now my tomatoes, as you can see, is starting to soften up, and my onions is also getting clear, and it's formed itself into a nice stew. Now into that I'm going to add my pieces of salted fish, And now I'm gonna give everything a nice mix here. Now keep the stove on medium to low. And you shouldn't need a lot of oil in this. But if you see that it is too dry, you can add a little bit more oil in there. Now 10 to 15 minutes should be good enough for this. Now if you use this in your cooking, a 1/4 teaspoon is going to add to this. And this is non-traditional. This is just my touch. The cilantro in there goes really, really well with fish. And keep rotating it so it doesn't burn. Now this has been cooking here like this on medium to low for the past 5 minutes. So I'm just going to give it 5 minutes more. So there you can see that the saltfish has released back the oil. It's no longer dry, and this has come together here nicely. And I'm going to remove this from the heat, but before I do that, I'm going to add my shallots. And I have here 4 cherry tomatoes that I've diced in half, and that's optional. Just that my husband likes to eat a lot of tomatoes and he doesn't like it to be fully cooked. Now I'm going to turn the stove off, and our saltfish, or stew saltfish or fry saltfish, is ready. This is looking really good, and it is smelling absolutely amazing. So this is where the hard work pays off. There's a close-up. This is looking absolutely amazing. The smell is amazing right now, and I can't wait to taste it. And our saltfish in Guyanese household is usually eaten with bake. So we have some nice fluffy bake here that we're going to be eating our saltfish with this evening, or as a matter of fact when I'm done with this video. And we also have it with boil and fry provision. This also goes really, really well with dal and rice and stewed saltfish. It is very, very delicious. So do try this recipe. All of the measurements and ingredients will be listed in the description box below. Give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe, and thank you for spending time with us today in Abby's Kitchen. Enjoy. Bye-bye.